and welcome back. We are doing a speed build in Forgotten Hollow of The Sims 4. I've actually been doing a ton of building here, I don't know, in the past couple of weeks. I have so many speed builds that are completed and ready for commentary that I could probably have 5 or 6 weeks worth, actually. And that includes both The Sims 4 and Sims 3. So we are pretty set for a while. I'm doing kind of a Victorian style Gothic type of home in this one. I don't know what made me decide to build something that is kind of, I don't know if you really want to call it gloomy, or I don't know, something that would be fitting for this world, I guess you could say, is kind of what I end up going with. The house uses a lot of the vampire pack. If you don't have the vampires, then you're probably not going to have a lot of the items that you see in this build because it uses a ton of them. So, yeah, there's a lot. I used most of the pack because of the Victorian Gothic type of furniture, and I wanted everything in this house to basically be the same style. And so yeah, this is definitely a place that you could maybe have your vampire living in, which is kind of what I was thinking to start with. And I was going to put a basement in for the coffins, and I couldn't figure out where to put them. I know you can stack the stairs on top of each other now, which is awesome, but I can't have an open staircase on the first floor if I stack them, because then I have the stairs underneath that are not enclosed, and that I don't like that. I didn't like the idea of it. I prefer basements most of the time to be closed off by a door. I don't know. Some houses, that's the way they need to be. Some houses it looks fine, the way they're set up for the staircase to be open, but yeah, I didn't like it, so I took it out. I actually experimented it off camera just to see how it worked before I tried it. And that's basically what ended up happening. Every time I had an open staircase on the first floor, then it would remove the wall that went to the basement area, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I ended up not having a basement, but you can stack them. So if that doesn't bother you to have the staircase there open up, then go right ahead, give yourself a basement, add some stairs, and put your coffins down there. So I think even a lot of the wallpapers and the exterior wallpapers use a lot of the vampire packs. So like I said, that is going to be the main pack in this build. So I definitely recommend, if you want the house to look the way you see it here, to have that pack. So I kind of wanted to go kind of the darker colors. I don't know, the brick and then that brown there, I just felt complemented each other very well. And I just really liked it. So here I'm trying to decide what I wanted to do. I'm adding different floor pieces in so I can add some trim on the outside, and just trying to figure out what I liked and didn't like. So just experimenting a little bit. I know quite a bit on building in The Sims 4. I just don't always know exactly how to go about doing it. I am not an expert, but I am, I do know quite a bit. I just don't always remember. I go so long in between building in this game that sometimes I tend to forget. So I'd be like, well, I know you can do this. I've done it before, or I've experimented with it once before. Now I just can't remember how did I do it? So, because it'd be so long in between builds, but yeah, I think I love, 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 love the exterior of this home. I tried to add as much Victorian style decorating and accent pieces, as many things as I could to the outside of this house. I love the way this turned out. All the extra pieces, trims and stuff that you get, I love them. So I was going crazy with how many different things I could do. I was just really trying to get as much trying to think. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm trying to, just trying to get as much detail. There we go. I wanted as much detail on the outside as I could get. So, yeah, we ended up taking part of the back out just a little bit just to add another deck area because I wanted as many as I could get, as many decks, as many balconies as I could possibly get out of this house. So, the one of the things I have noticed that I am not exactly too thrilled about is when you try to paint the concrete area or the support area underneath the stairs outside, you can't use the same texture as you used on the foundation. To me, that seems a little odd. I mean, that would be considered like the foundation type area, and I'm not sure why they would do that, but you cannot use the same pattern. So I try to get the same, at least as close as I can anyway. So I even use the windows that come in the vampire world or the vampire pack. So I don't know if they have some kind of sun barrier or something to help protect your vampire sims or what they are. They do seem to have some kind of bluish tint thing to it. I'm not really sure exactly what that is. But yeah, I decided I wanted to use that just in case. And I wanted this to have an attic. So basically what we're doing here is trying to create it to where all of the areas for the attic can get to it, and the turret does go all the way up. Now the upper turret, of course, since we don't have any ladders or spiral staircases, I didn't really want to fight with it too much, so I just kind of left it with a 2-story ceiling in the attic area. I think it turned out pretty nice. So you can see all the way up into the turret when you're in the attic, and I like the way it looks. I mean, I would have rather have had a ladder or something that went up into it, but last I knew, we don't have those options yet, so I hope one day we will get ladders and spiral staircases and be able to do something different with our stairs than just straight one-directional stairs. I would like to do U-shapes and L-shapes and any kind of shape that I want to make. So I'm looking forward to maybe one day being able to do that. But the exterior for the most part is coming along. I wanted to try to use dead looking plants. This is kind of like one of them houses that you would see that they don't really take care of the outside very well. We do have these types of houses and stuff here in the States. Basically, I've seen some actually for sale that the entire outside is completely trashed and dead and have almost no grass, but the interior is gorgeous. And they do that, I'm assuming, so they don't have to pay quite as many land taxes, because the nicer the outside of your house looks, the more you got to pay. So I'm going to assume that's why the interior of their house that they had for sale looked really nice and the exterior kind of looked horrible. But I just felt that the dead look on the outside kind of helped suit this world a little bit more. There's other lots. I think that whatever that vampire up on the hill, he has a bunch of dead stuff in his yard, so I wanted to have a fence, but one thing that kind of irritates me a little bit about this game is I can't put the fences directly on the property line, and I don't like that very well. So we just use a little bit of a front fence. Our yard isn't that big. I pretty much take most of it up with the house. So now those lights that I put on the outside, the one thing I have noticed when I have replaced this lot a few times, because I did have to fix a few things after I built it, they don't go back on the fence posts the way you see them now. You'll have to move objects on and then press your keys to raise and lower them in order for them to come back. They'll be there and they'll still light up, but they won't be in the same location, which I thought was kind of odd, but it does happen. Here what I was trying to do is I want an open balcony. They still have that roof glitch. You can create them, however, as long as you make sure none of the roofing goes through the walls at all. So I ended up making the outside area up there a balcony. It is not usable, as in I don't have a door that goes to it. But the one bedroom, if you want to use it, you can attach a door to it and you can use it. I just did not do that in this speed build, so but yeah, I wanted the stairs to be open because I had this idea of using these pillar pieces and trims for the stairs. I don't know what made me think of these, but that I was dead set on having that. There was nothing going to change my mind about it. I didn't care what was going on. It was not going to happen. And that's why I ended up not having a basement. So, but there's the stairs to the attic. I kind of enclosed them a little bit only because I did not want these stairs on top of another set of stairs, and the direction that the stairs were going wasn't going to be possible anyway. So I kind of put them off a little bit. I was kind of irritated. Almost every arch that you have, at least the ones I have anyway, I don't have every pack, so I'm sure maybe there's others, I don't know. But out of the packs that I have, I didn't have a single archway other than that one ugly one that only took up one square. The others always went in the center and of course was in the way and wasn't going to fit where I wanted it to fit, so that just kind of where it got stuck. So now we're working on the interior. I end up doing, there's a bar, there's a dining room. I even wanted to try doing a little something special with a dining room area just to kind of give it a little bit more detail and stuff, but it wasn't really wanting to work out. What was happening was it kept removing the trim that I had on the outside and changing that and making it look stupid, and I didn't like it, so I ended up just going back with what I originally had and said heck with it. And the one thing that irritates me about them cabinets is whenever I try using one that has a different like face, like has glass or whatever, they're not the same width, and then there's a gap. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm putting them on wrong, or maybe I need to push a button or something. I don't know, but there's a gap and I don't feel that looks right. So basically I wanted to see if I could come up with some kind of design, in the dining room. So I tried doing something like a border or something around it, and I ended up not liking it. The wood just seemed to be slightly off on color and texture, and I just didn't feel that it was meshing well, I guess you could say. You can kind of see the little bit of a trim right there that goes up and down. It's kind of a zigzag, but it wasn't looking right, and that center area just looked like crap. So I end up taking it out. Yes, I spent all this time working on that floor, and then all I do is take it out. Because I thought, well, maybe I can make some kind of square things. And then I thought, well, maybe we'll just do all that in one kind of wood and then do it something else and help make the dining room a little more special. But I didn't like it. It still looks stupid. So we just ended up taking it out. So, but here's the dining room. Kind of an open floor plan. I mean, not really. Your dining room and your kitchen are open. That way, it kind of helps make it look a little bit bigger and they're not all separated, but just trying to come up with some kind of rug idea here. When you're working when I was trying to do, like I said, a Gothic style, and the traditional Gothic style is not black. Like a lot of you might think now, that's what people refer to it as now, but that is not the case. It is actually lots of reds, lots of purples. They're darker colors, like the maroons and really dark purples. And I think there's even some blues in it. And, lots and lots of details. Like their chandeliers were big and their curtains were like awesome. Lots of detail. I mean, they had all kinds. The woodwork in these homes were amazing. Is just one of the prettier styles, actually. I would probably put a Gothic style with. They're very similar to Victorian. The only thing really difference is Victorian style uses more. The era uses a lot more patterns and multiple colors. They don't just use kind of the same stuff. So the Gothic era used to had a few different things. So. One of my favorite styles. I mean, you can pretty much make them, and they can pretty much pass for either or. It can either be a Victorian or Gothic, and you're probably not going to be wrong. So, unless you really put something in that's really not. So you're not going to find too much in the way of black in a Victorian era. So, or skulls. You're not going to find skulls. You're not going to find any of that kind of stuff. Or bones. But the Gothic era did have a little bit, of the darker style. So, but it was still a very beautiful era. If you're interested in researching eras that had a lot of detail, that is one of the eras that would. I mean, some of the stuff that they did and some of the building, oh, it was just beautiful. So, but anyway, this is pretty much the idea of the way the downstairs is going to look. It's kind of like one of those where like I said, the outside is kind of dead looking and unkept, but the interior was really taken care of. And here I'm just trying to bring in some of the outdoor pillars. That's where I was trying to do something, but it was being really stupid and glitchy, and it was screwing up my trim on the outside, and it was just really making me mad. I just said heck with it and just decided not to. This house looks really big, I think, anyway, from the outside, but inside, because I did the two-story ceiling area open in the living room, kind of takes away a lot. It's only a 2-bedroom and only 2 baths, so, but this tile I thought was beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't normally use it, and I haven't, but in this house, I felt this tile in this bathroom was like perfect. Just perfect tiles for this, and I just thought it was gorgeous. And I don't know if it came with the Vampire Pack or if I've always had it and I just didn't know it. I don't know where it came from, but I just thought it was gorgeous and I had to use it. So I finally put in a grand piano. Oh my goodness, I have not done this yet. I don't think in any of my houses. This is the room that gets a little touch of blue, but I also add in a lot of black in this room because, like I said, I tried to stick more towards the Gothic era and not the Victorian era. So I wanted to try to add more of the golds and black and, the darker reds and darker purples, more than, pinks and yellows and light blues that you would find in Victorian era instead. So I tried, but I didn't want to keep everything with purple and in maroon reddish colors. I just felt that'd be a little bit boring, so that's why this area has a little bit of the purple or the blue going on, just to help make it a little bit different in color. So here's a little bit of the blue. I tried to continue to incorporate the black to help, and what was really irritating me was apparently with the staircases you cannot paint just one side of them. That was frustrating. I don't know why they would do something like that. That just seems really stupid to me. I don't know why you would do that. But, yeah, you cannot paint the other side of the stairs and have it be a different color. I thought that was really stupid. But this room, like I said, is kind of on the blue side. But as you can see with the curtains, I brought in a little bit of the purple, and it's still kind of dark. I put a skull on the fireplace and an urn. So I tried. So I tried to continue to bring in some of the black, and I made the furniture black, and I just, because with it being blue, I didn't want it to be, too cheery. So that's kind of why we brought in some of the other, I brought in some of the other colors and stuff to go along with it. And this area ends up just being a little sitting area. I know those are childlike bookshelves or whatever they are, dressers. But I wanted something that I could use to help cover up that wall because I didn't like what happened and it was really frustrating and irritating with me. I don't think you're going to be able to use the top dresser part, but you should be able to use the one on the bottom right and then I think that's a bookshelf or something. I can't remember. I don't know if I'll turn the camera enough for you to see it again or not, but you should be able to use those, and your sim can move around. I have tested this lot, like I have said in the past, and whenever you go to Mod the Sims, I do test every lot. However, I cannot guarantee that I have that everything that I know about. So if you ever find something that does not work, please let me know. That way I can put a little notification in on some of the download areas and let others know that they might have to change something in the lot for it to work. But This room is just kind of sitting area. Sometimes I make these areas a computer area, but you know, I just didn't feel that a little computer area really suited this house. I don't think there's a computer anywhere in it. So I apologize if you want a computer. You're just going to have to buy one yourself. We're just kind of bringing in some more of the darker reds. Like I said, you want dark red. You do not want red. You want to go more towards the maroon and make it a little bit of a darker shade as you can, as much as you can in order for it to qualify for this era. Some of the eras of houses can be a little bit confusing, and and want to make sure you keep it, because if you start bringing in a bunch of other colors, then you're going to start changing it from Gothic to Victorian, and that's not exactly what this house was for. So, but if you want to change it, that's fine. I mean, that's fine with me. I just letting you know that when you're trying to make, different styles and stuff, you really got to be careful on what you use. So, this room, we're going to bring in the really dark purples. I mean, the purple that they used in the Gothic era, I think is just so pretty. The lighting and stuff, I like that lamp because it comes in a bunch of different colors to go with everything. So you'll see that lamp that is reused more than once. And here I'm bringing in some more of the black. Like I said, it wasn't all black. They did use some. The Gothic era nowadays is extremely black and very depressing. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't care for the Gothic too much nowadays. The Gothic era I found very pretty and beautiful, and I loved it, but I don't really care for what it's turned into now. So, but yeah, I think this room turned out beautiful. I kind of considered that room to be the master bedroom just because it was larger. That room, I absolutely loved it. Now, the bathroom, I do know that the way you're seeing it now, it does not work. I did go in and I did fix it. All I did was kind of shimmy the bathtub into the wall just a little bit, but it does work. So, you can have your shower right there. I kind of went towards more of a black with red color for this bathroom. That's just kind of the style I went with it. In this room, again, I brought in some more of the blue, but I tried to make it a little bit of a darker blue and not a light blue. I just wanted something a little bit different. Like I said, I don't like having all the rooms to be the same. So, I didn't want to do another red room or another purple room, so I wanted to bring in something a little bit different. But I tried my best to bring in, this is probably pushing it when it comes to the Gothic era. We're probably pushing it a little bit more towards Victorian in this room. But I wanted something different. I don't like having all my rooms the same. So, now with the curtains, I did, because I wanted to use them, I was determined to use all those curtains, but you're going to possibly find the one in the upper landing glitching or poking through a little bit on the outside. If it really bothers you a lot, just get rid of it and change it to a different curtain. That's fine. But I really did not want to get rid of it. I wanted to leave it there for the house. But up here, I went ahead and I covered them all up, so you won't be able to see them. So that shouldn't really be too much of a problem. I think it's just through the porch there in the front that the one curtain kind of, every now and then you can kind of see it. But you gotta have to be in a certain angle, a couple of different angles in order to see it. Most of the time you won't. So it's up to you. It depends on whether or not that bothers you. I don't know if I would let it bother me enough to get rid of the curtain in the room. So, and in this attic, I decided to use as much of the cobwebs as I possibly could. This attic is plenty big enough that if you want to change and add more bedrooms and, make it larger, that way you can fit more Sims, go right ahead. I just made it an attic. I just felt that this house looked more like an attic type of house. So, and we'll be going through, and I went ahead and added a few more things downstairs. Just trying to, doing a little bit of the outside here. And we end up going into the top tower here pretty soon, I believe. I put the stairs on the outside, only on the sides there, only because there's really not any backyard. And I'm horrible with terrain paint. To me, I felt like I was ruining the ground. So I just said heck with it and just added some of the brown dirt and said heck with it. Terrain paint for me is horrible. That's why you won't hardly see me do it, because I suck at it. But I didn't do anything really in the backyard. There wasn't really much of a backyard, so I just kind of left it go. And I already felt like we had how many trees, and I wasn't really too sure if other, I added a few more, but I didn't really do anything. You know how I am. If you've watched enough of my videos, you'll know I don't hardly ever do anything in the back. I never know what to do in the back, so it's usually left. Here is the top tower. I just went ahead and opened it up. That way it could at least be decorated and used. And I think it looks pretty neat. Just kind of add in some more paintings and things here and there. And now trying to get the cobwebs to fit right up in that tower area seemed to be a little bit of a pain. But here are the screenshots of this house. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun creating this house. It's a little bit out of my element. I'm not really used to building kind of in this way, so I did the screenshots in the evening because since this town is mostly in the dark area, it's more nighttime longer, I thought that kind of suited it better. So but yeah, I had a lot of fun with this house. I haven't actually done a style like this before, and it was fun. I might have to do some more of them down the road. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, go ahead and feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.